There's going to be time where you're going to be put on the hot seat. You know, you have to do a report on a project that you're working on. And you were supposed to have it done by a particular day. And you're behind schedule. If you were really smart, as soon as you recognized that you were going to be behind schedule, you would request a meeting with your boss and not make excuses, but say, look, my schedule has slipped. I need so-and-so X number of additional days. I'm certain that I can have it completed by, boom, this date, this time. Or I need some additional resources in order to have it done by this date and this time. So what we're saying here is you don't have to work around the bush and try to cover your butt. You just say, you know, I didn't have the information, I don't have the information, I will find out, I will get back to you tomorrow. You never ever say, I'll get back to you without giving a date and a time when that communication will happen. There is nothing more frustrating for a boss than have an employee says, I'll get back to you on that. And it's, you know, it's a part of an important project without committing. See, a lot of people don't want to make commitments because they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. Again, that's cowardly and it shows very poor character traits. It's okay to mess up. If you're not messing up on occasion, you're not doing anything. And the thing is, it's never about what you did wrong. Whether it's to your boss, family, wife, husband, it's all about what did you learn? What was the lesson that I learned? So I won't have to do this again, go through this again. It's always about the learning, never about the mistake.
Can I share an experience? When I quit my government job in Mantralaya in 1991 to 94 to go to America. I quit the government job and went to USA. I was doing my MBA in Mumbai. I had to stop that also halfway, reach USA. And I was working on the same project where Bob was working. After 3 months on the project, I get a call Friday night, Friday evening, around 4 or 5 p.m. In America, working days are only Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday is full off. So last day of last hour of your working week, I get a call from Mark, who was in Cohen's office, saying that, okay, you don't have to report to Monday on the job, you have been terminated from the project. Now imagine what might have got into my mind. I left a government job in India, I left my half MBA, went to America, and within 3 months they terminated me. Don't report means you lost your job. That was the news came to me. Now the earth is moving under my feet. What I'm going to do now? I lost the job in America. I left the job in India. I left my half MBA there. And if I cannot continue here, what good is this? So, can failure come in your life? Answer is yes. Now, what is the lesson you are going to learn? So I went to Mark, who was my boss, and said, okay, why did you terminate me? First thing. And why didn't anybody tell me what is the problem? I have spent 3 months on the project. If there was something wrong, somebody should have come to me and said, well, your work is not on time, or work is not quality, or you are not doing this, doing that. Something has to come out. And he said, well, welcome to America. Your boss doesn't like you, your boss doesn't want you, and you cannot go to that project. You come Monday to me, meet me, and I'll tell you what to do. So I went to Mark and said, look, whatever has happened, you tell me, means Mark tell me, how can I avoid this repeating again? He said, he will give me another project. Don't worry about it. But what if I get terminated again another project and I have to come back to India? All my planning go in the water. So I asked Mark, okay, tell me the solution of this so that this never repeats in my life. You know what he said? Every week, Friday, before going home, go to your manager and tell your manager, are you happy with my performance? Is there anything you want me to improve? And do you want me to do something which you are expecting from me? And I kept repeating that for next 3.5 years. Never left a project, never had to be terminated, and I was the only employee in the 22 people's team will go to Marge. Marge was my lady manager in Carlisle White, IBM's office building. And I used to go to her every Friday night and ask her, okay, are you happy with my performance? I asked her, I am going to take admission for MBA. It takes 3 years to do part-time MBA. I want to make sure that you will not terminate me from this project. Otherwise, I left half MBA in India, and if you terminate me here, again I will have to leave this MBA and go somewhere else. So she said that as long as he is on the project and my performance is up to the mark, she will never terminate me from the project. So I was able to complete my MBA, and after completing the MBA, the knowledge which I grabbed, I started my own business, and rest is the history. There was only one mistake, learn from it, and that mistake never happened in your life. So things will go wrong in your life too. 10th grade, everybody is not going to be 99%. Is that end of the world? No. It is a tiny thing in your life. Definitely it will give the directions. Suppose you got the percentage you want medical engineering, whatever the line you want, you got it, some of may go, some of may not go. Now you have to have a backup plan. What if I don't go into the medical line or engineering line? That is not end of the world. There are not only engineers and doctors in this world. There are only maybe 1 or 2%. There are still 98% living a successful life. Ambani, Adani, both are not engineers or doctors. Your success is going to determine on the efforts and energy and hard work you are going to do on your own, and not on the percentage you are going to get it. Percentage is going to help you definitely, but that is not end of the world. So if you make a mistake, if you fail, get up again and set for next target. You fail again, get up again and set next target. Adani was an agent who is the richest person in Asia today. No educational background, no family background, no business background, nothing. Only efforts has put this person on the top of the list in Asia. And everybody in this room can achieve the same thing, as long as you are dedicated and ready to put the hard work for whatever the target you have. That is.
Okay. So here's some things that I want you to understand and write down. Okay? Number 1, you will make mistakes. You will make mistakes. Number 2, if that mistake affects someone else or a project that you're working on where it's going to be delayed for whatever reason because you were not able to get your piece done. Number 3, find out why you're in this position. Did you have the right resources? Were you given the right specifications or information in order to create the product properly? Okay? To create the product properly. Then, number 4, communicate. Communicate. Communicate with the next level management up from you. Request a meeting. Be proactive, which we're going to be
That's the first
our next item here on the list. Be proactive. Don't wait for somebody to come to you, because then it's too late. You go, you take that first step and say, boss, here's what I had to do. Don't make excuses. Said, I fell behind schedule. Either I didn't have the right resources or I underestimated the time to get it done. This happens more than anything. And I can get back on track if I do the following. In other words, you never ever go to your boss with a problem in one hand unless you have a solution in the other. Write that down.
very important statement.
Never expect your boss to solve your problems. You'd better, when there is a problem, you're off schedule, something happened, or it could be interpersonal relationships, it could be anything. It could be anything. Make sure that you communicate that clearly and honestly. And look for what it is that I was supposed to learn from this. Where is the learning? Because in every mistake, in every failure, there's the seed of knowledge. Remember that. That's critical. Mulling over the problem, mulling over the error, constantly chasing your tail of how terrible things are, accomplishes nothing except drives you further underneath the water. What you want to do is dispassionately, lack of passion, just logic, honesty with yourself first and foremost. Find out what went wrong. And then make sure that you document it. Then you talk to your boss. This is what went wrong. I understand that now. And I will be back on track by, and give a date and a time when you'll be back on track, or that maybe it's not a time-based issue and just said it won't happen again. I know where the mistake was. So that is self-evaluation. Write that down. Being able to honestly self-evaluate. Not making excuses for yourself, not thinking that your ego is at stake, but honestly looking at where can I improve? What can I do better the next time? Does that make sense? So now that we've laid the foundation to our building of being effective, building effective habits, let's talk about the first habit, which dovetails or joins with what we were just talking about. And that is be proactive.
Circle it in your paper.
Be proactive. Be proactive. What this means is I am an independent being, separate from the things that happen to me. Life is a product of your values, not your feelings. That's important. Life is a product of your value, not your feelings, not your emotions. The opposite of being proactive is reactive. Decisions are made on feelings or mood or how others treat us, which is useless. Because if you base your life on what others think of you or how they treat you, you will be whipsawed around like a leaf in a storm. You must maintain your own personal space of integrity, honor, and courage, regardless of what is going on out there that may appear to affect you. Only you can determine that. No one else. No one else. Be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself, first and foremost. Only then can you be so with others. Take responsibility. We have the power to choose our actions apart from conditions. Apart from conditions. Apart from what's going on around us, we can choose our actions. It's the weak person that says, well, I can't do this because of, and they start giving excuses of things that are happening out in their world. And that is foolishness. It gets you nowhere. That you take responsibility for your life. You take responsibility for your actions. You don't try to cover things up. You don't try to sneak things under the carpet, so to speak. Because that breeds a lack of trust. And when you lose someone's trust, it's very, very difficult to regain it. It's better to be straightforward, honest, and upfront than to try to be sneaky and hope it'll go away without somebody seeing it. That is a losing proposition. Okay?
Bob,